stars. Look who else showed up.
Good evening, New York City. Our hometown. Let's size this moment.
Size this moment. It looks like a 48 regular to me. I don't know.
Trump just had the biggest meltdown we've seen since that time he found out his McDonald's order was wrong. Kimmel's latest roast hit a nerve so bad that Trump's team had to physically take his phone away. When we showed this footage to a body language expert, she actually laughed and said, "This is textbook narcissistic rage."
Melania Trump made a rare appearance in compliance with Section 3, subsection 2.7 of her prenuptial agreement. And look at the way these two lovebirds interact with each other. Their chemistry, it's positively smoldering.
A second Hitler. How does that make you feel? Because you know him better than anyone.
Correct. It's terrible. He's not Hitler, and all of his supporters, they're standing behind him because they want to see country successful.
Appearance, it was as if they caught her in a glue trap at Saks Fifth Avenue and dragged her there. Your wife has to answer questions about her husband being a Hitler. It might be time to reel it in.
I could use this in my university lectures. The comparison between how normal presidents take criticism versus Trump's toddler tantrum is something you have to see to believe. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Look at the way these two lovebirds interact with each other. Their chemistry, it's positively smoldering.
Please welcome our next Commander-in-Chief, my husband, President Donald J. Trump.
To me, there's nothing more beautiful than watching a man and his wife try not to smudge each other's bronzing cream, you know?
Ever wonder what a normal president's daily schedule looks like? Well, according to Stephen Colbert, Trump's to-do list is something special. While most presidents start their day with intelligence briefings, policy meetings, and calls with world leaders, Trump apparently has a very different routine. Colbert imagined Trump's morning agenda: 7 a.m., wake up 7:05 a.m., turn on Fox News 7:06 a.m., begin tweeting angrily about whatever Fox just said.
And now, from Slovenia, please say hello to our former First Lady, Melania Trump. And then it was time for the main event. Patrick Ewing basked in the glow of the garden for around 70 minutes. Oh, God bless the NDA. It is just unbelievable. This whole event, his whole platform is immigrants are dangerous. Immigrants are killing our country. We have to stop the immigrants.
The contrast couldn't be more stark. Presidents like Obama would be reviewing threat assessments and economic reports before breakfast, while Trump was busy creating his own threats on Twitter. Remember when he couldn't spell hamburger correctly? The infamous hamburger tweet became an instant classic in the late-night comedy circuit. And who could forget when he tried to say unprecedented but kept saying unprecedented instead?
She greets him like he made a delivery to her art gallery. This appearance, it was as if they caught her in a glue trap at Saks Fifth Avenue and dragged her there.
And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today.
I mean, at least he was being honest about how unpresidential he was. Then there was that time Trump claimed he was a very stable genius, which is exactly what stable geniuses always have to announce publicly, right? Late night hosts had a field day with that one. Jimmy Kimmel joked, "Anyone who has to tell you they're a stable genius probably isn't stable or a genius." Even John Oliver created an entire segment called Stable Genius Theater, where he dramatized Trump's most bizarre statements. And how about those photo ops? Most presidents are photographed signing landmark legislation or meeting with foreign dignitaries. Trump, he jumped into a garbage truck and pretended to drive it while making truck noises. Not exactly the Lincoln Memorial, is it? But what really showed Trump's thin skin was his meltdown after the Harris debate. When Kimmel aired a segment pointing out Trump's rambling answers and confused expressions, the former president lost it completely. He fired off a series of angry social media posts calling Kimmel not talented and a loser. The specific jokes that triggered him most? Kimmel's bit about Trump claiming to be a very successful businessman while filing for bankruptcy 6 times, and the montage of Trump struggling to form complete sentences during the debate. What really got under his orange skin was Kimmel's suggestion that Trump's debate performance revealed cognitive decline, hitting him right in his insecurities about his intelligence and mental sharpness. It's fascinating how a man who mocked disabled reporters and gave childish nicknames to opponents can't handle a comedian making jokes about him. Trump can't stand jokes about his intelligence, but Melania's face might be telling the most brutal joke of all. Kimmel's compilation of the former First Lady's most miserable moments paints a picture so clear you'd think she was wearing a neon sign saying, "I'm only here because my contract requires it." While previous First Ladies championed meaningful causes that made actual differences, Melania's Be Best initiative has been about as effective as a feather duster in a tornado. Michelle Obama got kids moving and eating healthy. Laura Bush boosted literacy rates nationwide, but Melania's campaign barely left a mark deeper than a puddle in the Sahara. But it's not just her lackluster initiative that had Kimmel in stitches. It's those facial expressions that do all the talking. The late-night host put together side-by-side footage showing the stark contrast between Melania's forced smiles when standing next to Trump versus her genuine happiness when he's nowhere in sight. Body language experts who analyzed the clips noted that her discomfort is painfully obvious in public appearances, with her stiff posture and distant gaze telling the real story. Remember all those times Melania seemed to accidentally on purpose avoid holding Trump's hand? Kimmel turned those moments into comedy gold, suggesting she invented social distancing long before COVID made it mandatory. In fact, he joked that her favorite hobby appears to be playing How Far Can I Stand from Donald without it being obvious, a game she's apparently mastered over the years. What makes the montage so devastating is the pattern it reveals. When Trump is in the frame, Melania's smile vanishes faster than government funding for the arts. But the second he steps away, that's when we see those rare glimpses of what looks suspiciously like relief washing over her face. It's like watching someone who's been holding their breath finally get to exhale. Kimmel's most cutting observation, that unlike previous First Ladies who beamed with pride beside their husbands, Melania often looks trapped and miserable. And that visual alone delivers a more devastating critique of Trump than any punchline could. It's like watching a cat being forced to take a bath. You can tell exactly how she feels without her saying a single word. Here's the real irony, folks. While Trump melts down over Kimmel's jokes, previous presidents actually embraced comedy as a way to connect with Americans. Remember those White House Correspondents' dinners where presidents would poke fun at themselves? That tradition showcases something Trump never mastered: the ability to laugh at yourself. His paper-thin ego can't handle even the gentlest ribbing, which is exactly why comedians can't resist targeting him. It's like watching a kid throw a tantrum when someone touches his toys. This inability to take a joke isn't just funny, it's revealing. When a leader can't handle criticism wrapped in humor, it says everything about their character. Trump's presidency wasn't just unusual because of policy. It was weird because basic presidential norms like self-deprecation were replaced with Twitter tirades. The orange man is so busy defending his fragile ego that he completely misses why America's laughing.